Hey, Michael Bossbon on the floor of the Music City Drum Show. And look who I've run into. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name's John Root. I'm a musician here in Nashville.
And you do more than that. You have a
I have a business where I maintain house drum sets on Lower Broadway. These kits generally get played 16 hours or more a day. There's a 4-hour shift of one drummer and then the next drummer. And so I maintain 20 different drum sets down there, which means weekly I go in and clean the kit, look for any problems, take care of any tuning issues, and repair any things that need to be done.
well, let's explain to people that along Lower Broadway is one club after another, and there's rock and country music coming out of those clubs for like 20 hours a day, each one.
Yeah, and for instance, on one block of Lower Broadway, which runs about 5 blocks and then stretches out on each side, on one block of Lower Broadway, there's probably 25 stages, and the majority of those stages start at 10 in the morning and go all the way till 2 in the morning.
And of course, the only way to do that is to not have every drummer schlep his own stuff.
Right, and so they have the house drum kit, and every 4 hours a new drummer's coming in, and they're moving that cymbal stand, they're adjusting the tom mount, and like with our kits, you set up that tom mount once and it's going to stay that way.
Right.
Where these kits every 4 hours they're getting adjusted, so there's a lot of wear and tear. Besides
Now-
someone playing on a kit that's not theirs.
Now, speaking of which, whose kit is it?
All the manufacturers, or
Well, I mean, if I'm at the stage,
oh, it's the club. The club owns it.
club
The club
owns it,
the
and
kit.
they make deals with the manufacturers.
And
Maybe?
I have deals with the manufacturer where I can get the club's kits.
Okay.
And because I speak to the manufacturers and say, wouldn't you like drummers to test drive your product
Right.
instead of just for 20 minutes at
Right.
Guitar Center? Here they are getting to play it for 4 hours
So
in,
it's
a,
a
in a bar.
product placement in the
So
clubs.
that's the way the clubs, the manufacturers are.
Well, that's
thinking of
terrific,
it.
man.
Yeah, and then when I need parts, they help me with the parts, or Remo drum heads, because that's the heads I use.
And do they all kind of respect the kits? And
They-
I guess they
yeah.
all know that they were counting on that kit being there
Yeah.
for the next guy and the next guy.
And what happens is when the kit is maintained and they go in and the kit is clean and working, they treat it with more respect.
Right.
If you go into it and a kit's all beat up, you're kind of like, oh, this is a crappy drum kit,
Right.
and you don't treat it with that same respect.
So
So
guys bring their own cymbals and sticks?
they bring their own cymbals, sticks,
Maybe a
and-
pedal?
and a pedal. The kits I maintain have everything but cymbals. But lots of guys, will bring their own throne,
Sure.
their own snare. 'cause
Now, that's
it's
one
just,
thing I have to ask you. A few years back, if you've never been here, each club has like a big glass window in the front. Sometimes the bands are in that window facing the club. There was a drummer a few years ago who fell through the glass.
Yeah,
onto
he
the
fell through the
pavement.
glass. Stan, he
We
had his
left him
ears
in.
in, and he stood up, and it was caught on his throne, and it pulled him
Oh.
backwards, and it pulled him, and he fell up against the window, which popped out, and he dropped maybe 6 or 7 feet to the
We're
sidewalk.
laughing, but he was okay.
He was bruised up, but he went and played after that gig. He went and played another shift at a different club.
Aren't we crazy?
Yeah, and then he went to the hospital.
Somebody said the show must go on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to find that guy.
No, a couple years ago, I got T-boned on the way to a gig. A car ran a stop sign and totaled my truck, and I was a half hour late, but I went and played a double that day
I've
down on
been there,
Broadway.
brother. I was in a car accident on the way to work, made the gig.
Yeah. Well, it's thinking about, well, we're gonna have a deductible, and I'm gonna need
need
this
the bread.
money.
A few years ago, I had to go to the hospital suddenly, and they said, "No, you're going to be here a few days." I said, "No, man, I got a gig in Hilton Head tomorrow night,"
Yeah.
and they said, "No, you don't."
Yeah. And it's just the way we're cut, right?
I know, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for stopping by, man.
Michael,
Best
great
of
to
luck
meet you,
to you
man.
there.
Yeah.
We'll run into each other again.
And make sure everyone checks out the Music City Drum Show.
There you go.